Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome each and every one of you to a new League of Legends video. So today's going to be an update video that Riot just released, something that's really important, of course, regarding the behavioral system, punishing AFKs, trolls, inters, things like that. And I'm making a video about it because this is something I personally really care about, because playing rank right now, at least nowadays or lately, has been honestly a lot more miserable than it has been fun because of just, the way people play, the behavior, the attitude, the griefing and giving up, etc. So Riot has just released the post, guys. So the TLDR of it is going to be this. This is the parts, at least Mark said he's most excited about. So apparently now we're going to have LP mitigation if your teammate AFKs. Essentially, I believe that means that if you pretty much get, or you lose less LP if you lost the game because one of your teammates AFK'd, which is sick. Early surrender if you have an AFK, also good. Waste a lot less time, a lot less mental strain, which is good. I mean, it's still going to suck, of course, but not only can you get out of the game faster, but you also lose less LP. So it's a pretty big win-win there for sure, 100%. And of course, doubling the effectiveness of our intentionally feeding detection, right? So let's go ahead and read the actual post itself, guys. If you're excited for this, don't forget to hit that like button. I'm actually excited. This is a huge change coming over, which is going to be absolutely wonderful. By the way, guys, I'm commissioning an artwork. Let me know quickly. I'm commissioning an artwork with me and Yone. What do you guys think? It's not done yet, but it's pretty close. This is like the sneak preview. What do you think in the comments below? Let me know. I think it's damn sexy. But anyways, let's get this party started. So what has Riot Games offered us today on this fine Friday afternoon or noon-ish? So hello everyone, we're back with another monthly update on our progress towards improving League's behavioral systems. As usual, we would like to give you some insights into what the team has been working on this month and what you should be rolling out the next few patches. So in our July update, there's no space here, we called out a few specific areas around disruptive behavior that we would be focusing on, such as intent to lose actions and leaving or going idle in games. So these include intentionally feeding opponents, sabotaging through disruptive gameplay, like griefing for instance, intentionally leaving the game, going idle in game, game disconnects or DC, and their goals are to reduce occurrences of the above behaviors and LQs and mitigate the impact to players when they experience disruptive behaviors in their game, such as, of course, the LP mitigation. So let's take a look what exactly they're doing. So intentional feeding and idle / AFK detection. After hundreds of depressing manual VOD, I mean, think about it. If reviewing the VOD reviews manually was depressing, imagine playing in the game. Multiply that by at least a few. I'm just saying, it's really not a fun experience. Anyways, and verification exercises. We think we're in a good enough place to start getting improvements to how we detect intentional feeding and idle / AFK behaviors out for testing. So these changes will allow us to identify these behaviors at double the rate we are currently. 2 times 0 is still 0, right? I'm kidding. It's a meme. I'm kidding. I know they're trying their best. I hope at least. Anyways, okay, double the rate, which is good. Take action against those negative behaviors more consistently, and let players know. Let players know when we've caught negative behaviors in their games and work towards alleviating that pain. Well, I feel like they already do this, I think. The issue is it takes too long sometimes, in my opinion. But I mean, they're doubling the rate, so hopefully that is good. At this point, I genuinely think you should be tripling it at least. Like, I'm just saying. Anyways, at least for a little bit, like triple or even quadruple it, at least for the next 2 months or something like that, and then maybe reduce it to a double. You know what I mean? Like, you really need to just really step down on this so people really take this seriously, because people are going to be reading this, the ones that usually grief in AFK, they're going to read this and they're going to be like, probably not doesn't mean anything. They're still going to continue doing it. You have to really put the foot down and just let people understand that this is getting serious. Like, they're really going to start doing action, So people stop doing it and then reduce it a little bit. You know what I mean? I think that's what they should be doing. Anyways, our first detection improvements that are already live in 10.15, but we'll continue to push new iterations across the next couple of patches. We're working towards a world where we detect these behaviors as they occur, mitigate them for affected players during those games, and take action against offenders immediately after the game, which is exactly what it should be. Obviously, easier said than done, but this is what it should be. Anyways, moving on. Idle and AFK actions. If we're detecting disruptive behavior more often, how are we actioning against it? In order to reduce the overall footprints of idle and AFK behavior in League, we've outlined a few options that tackle the goals of preventing this behavior, deterring this behavior from occurring in the first place, and mitigating the impact of this behavior when it does occur. Okay, so how are they doing this? So we're looking to dig to more options or solutions to address the AFKs in the short term. So this is what they're thinking of doing to prevent idle and AFK people, which is good. Idle essentially means like you're like semi AFK. It means like you're at the base, but you're like not really AFK. You're just end base, just waiting for the game to finish. Essentially, you're moving every now and then, so you're not getting the AFK punishment, but you're pretty much AFK. Anyways, early surrender options when we identify an AFK earlier in our game. Now, I wish they would give us their like requirements, if you will. What constitutes of someone being AFK according to Riot Games? I wish they would tell us that, because I want to know, like, what would they consider like a true AFK? You know, like I want to know that, or like a true idle, I guess. So early surrender options, which is good, so you can get out of the game ASAP. You know, less tilt, less waste of time. Great, honestly, maybe like 10 minutes. I think that'd be pretty good. LP mitigation for those in ranked games that have an AFK or intent to lose behaviors on their team during a loss, which is great. Now, this is gonna be the hard part. I mean, this is something they really need to fix for sure, but it's also going to be hard to justify. How do you differentiate someone that's just having a bad game that's going 0-6 as opposed to someone that's like clearly given up and clearly playing to lose going 0-6? Like, how do you differentiate between the two is the issue. Anyways, LP mitigation which is great. So you lose less LP if you have someone on your team that is AFKing, idling, and or pretty much playing like they really just don't care anymore. They pretty much want to lose, which is good. So you get less LP. Or you lose less LP. So maybe like you lose like half the amount of LP or something, which would be pretty good. Stricter queue lockouts for those that disconnect /AFK, which is great. Good. And pre-queue warnings for those that have disrupted games previously. So I'm not really sure what that means. I'm assuming if you're one of the players that disrupts the games, before you queue up, you get a warning that says like, if you do it again, hey, if you do it again, the door's that way. So we're looking for feedback from players on these implementations, so we'll be doing them in the same live experimentation fashion as we did with champ select reporting. By the way, champ select reporting, good idea. However, it literally does nothing. You report them, it does and they actually said it themselves. It does literally nothing at the moment. We don't have a hard date for delivery just yet, but we should have at least one experiment live in the next month. Speaking of champ select reporting, okay, yeah, speaking of which, thank you. 2 patches ago, we launched champ select reporting and muting. We've been able to gather significant data around disruptive behaviors in champ select and have seen success in giving players a preemptive way of avoiding verbal abuse in champion select and in-game. Really? I feel like they literally said that reporting does nothing other than just give Riot the little notification about you reported someone, but in terms of literal punishment, it does nothing. Maybe now it does. I don't know. Rather than turn these features off after the 2-patch experiment as originally planned, we'll leave them on going forward. The 2 biggest trends we saw in reports were players whose champs were banned by their own teammates and reports of negative chats. Though we know these aren't all the issues, it's enough for us to start developing improvements based on our experiments results. So it seems like they are getting the reports, but like, are they actually doing anything with it? Like it says, like I think they're saying that they're essentially planning on doing something with it. I mean, it's enough to start developing improvements. So does that mean that there's nothing going on right now? Like, are they just getting this and they're seeing the issues in champ select, but they're not ready to punish yet? I think that's what they're. As long as I'm understanding correctly, that's what it seems like they're doing. Okay, so the 2 biggest. Oh, we saw that. Blah, blah, blah. We're committed to shipping the following to further develop the champ select experience: ban confirmation and detection. We understand that there's a strategic value and personal preference for certain bans, and we want to maintain your ability to pick which champion you don't want to play against. Based on report data, though, we want to make it clear that when your ban choice overlaps with what a teammate wants to play, we'll be implementing a better automated detection to double check that you actually want to ban a champion that your teammate is currently hovering. I mean, it's already pretty good. I feel like if someone's hovering a champion and you're about to ban the champion, it usually says that, oh, a teammate is hovering. Are you sure? And you have to confirm it, right? So I feel like it's pretty good already. I don't know how much better they can make it, honestly. And then the final thing is going to be penalty system integration. Though we can't confidently act on behaviors directly in champion select just yet, we are looking to find and implement the best post-game actions we can to common issues similar to end-of-game reporting. Okay, so this is essentially confirming that the current report system does literally nothing in champion select. Literally nothing. I mean, other than the fact that Riot just sees that he reported them, probably sits there sipping their pina colada and being like, ha! Have fun in this game, sucker. I mean, I'm obviously joking, but I hope so at least. But it seems like they're getting ready to start actually issuing punishments for champ select reporting. Not there yet, but they're on their way there. So that's about it. So, I mean, again, guys, to quickly reiterate, so some good stuff, actually, some really massive, huge changes coming that I'll think will actually improve the game overall, hopefully as soon as possible. Of course, the main thing, of course, is they're going to be doubling the rate that they're essentially identifying AFKs and intentional feedings, and they want to pretty much take the action against those players much faster and let us know that action has been taken. And the biggest thing is, of course, this one. This is huge. I think this is going to be great. The second they get this out, it'll be much better to play. On top of this, of course, where now if you actually get a player like that, you can get out of the game faster, you'll lose less LP. The people that are doing the issues and creating the issues will have more issues getting into queues and actually getting into a game. So they should get into some kind of like AFK queue, if you will, where people that AFK and have a consistent history of them being toxic and AFKing and griefing games, give them a much longer queue. And then pre-queue warnings, of course, which is also good. But either way, guys, some pretty big stuff coming. Hopefully this will be fixing League of Legends, because at the moment ranked is pretty much anything but fun to play, I'll be honest. But hopefully this will put it into the spot that it should be at. But either way, guys, let me know what you think about it down below. Let me know what you think about this artwork down below as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace, peace, peace.